Boom. Hello and welcome to episode number 6 of When Pigs Fly. I'm Patty McGuire. I am joined by Renee Masaccio and Tracy Malhado. Hello, lovely ladies.
Hello, my dear.
And we're keeping this train rolling. We keep building and building upon the previous subject, and we're trying to make this palatable for those of you. Please remember to hit the like button and subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Let us know where you're from. Let us know if there's a topic we're missing that you want more of, and we'd be happy to share it with you. And I'm going to toss it over to Renee. What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about, I'm pretty sure it's this book of Tracy's is The Musings of the Mind. And she has one of the pages that is platforms. And one of the things she said, which was just so phenomenal, it says, seek truth, allow others to help you understand what you already know. So from that, I'm going to throw it to Tracy.
All right.
That was a polite way of saying,
go.
what the heck do you mean by that?
Exactly. Talk to us, girlfriend.
All right. So basically it is, and there's two sides to this because I'm going to use the word trigger to be a triggerer or to get triggered, which is it's one of the main ways now that we open up that allowance. And there's a lot of ways, but I'm just going to use that as an example. So to allow yourself to be triggered or be put in a situation or be put in an awareness that you are kind of, in a sense, forced to remember what you already know. Because we know we're operating under the premise, which is true, that we have everything we need inside. We know all we need to know. We do need to remember a lot, but we have it. We got this. Like, we've got this. Sometimes, as I was expressing off camera, we just need someone to take our head and shove it in the toilet and keep doing it until we wake up and be like, okay, I'm listening, right? So there's two sides of that coin. We have to be comfortable enough to trigger someone and be okay with it and to know we're doing it to help them in a loving, compassionate, okay, open your eyes way, or being the one that is being pushed into maybe an uncomfortable space or an unknown space so we can remember.
Yeah, absolutely. And always remember, people, like, water, very purifying. Got your head going in there, purify. Good. But you're right. And really being open to receiving. And, that person may have triggered you, but when you're probably outside of their, outside of being with them, really check in with yourself. Why did that trigger me?
Yeah.
What was the trigger? Because there's something in you that, first of all, you're creating that person coming to trigger you, because clearly you're ready to open up and to move forward in a different way. Otherwise, you would not have brought that person to you. Like, take ownership of having that person come to you and trigger you, because it's your system, your body, whatever, however you want to say it, saying, hey, something's in here that we have to get rid of. And honoring that and maybe checking in to see what that trigger was and why, and doing something about it.
And to be clear, this isn't just triggering for the guy, let me just go poke.
Right.
Let me go poke the bear. Triggering with love and compassion and going, okay, this guidance is going to, maybe not in this immediate moment, but it's going to allow this person the opportunity to see and to remember. It's remembering what I call remembering the truth of who we are. And like you said, like, we have access to infinite intelligence and, and even science, which is far behind what we're doing, says, oh, we're only using 10, less, we're not even using 10% of our intelligence. The number's lower than that. We have access to infinite intelligence. And it's as we're coming online in higher consciousness, we're getting the opportunity to play in that realm. And it's play. And sometimes, you need a little toilet action to wake that up in you. But I'm doing this. I'm shoving your head in the toilet with love and compassion.
Exactly. I won't flush, but I'll shove it in there.
The new spa treatment. It's
There you go.
right.
Are you smelling the rose?
Oh,
Right.
I'm not kidding you. Someone told me yesterday that, like, models rub ice on their face because it stimulates Anyway, this is expanding the realm of what is, funny conversation. Like, what if? Who knows? A year from now, it might be a spa treatment. The head in the water ball. I'm just saying, right?
You don't know. You never know, especially in today's world.
Everything's possible.
No doubt.
Exactly. But and what I love about that whole aspect is when you're open to receiving and being, we're always going to bring people to us. Like, and I'm sure you have done this. I know, well, Patty, you've done it because we've talked about it. I've done it. Like, we seek out a ton of different people, especially in the spiritual field. Oh, they know this, they know this, they know this. And then we buy these programs and we're listening. We never finish them. We do whatever because we have to really stop and focus and listen and say, okay, this person feels right to me. There's something about this I want to learn more. I want to have it, opposed to going in and saying, okay, this person, oh, they said they're going to teach me X, Y, and Z, and that's what I need to know. And then you never finish that program because they didn't really resonate with you. It really didn't, or they said something that triggered you. That, and now this is a trigger in sort of that loving, compassionate way, but sort of like on a flip side, not just to poke the bear, but as now it's triggering you because, well, I don't want to do that. Okay, do you not want to do that because it just isn't your truth? Or do you not want to do that because now you've got to step outside of your comfort zone?
Yeah.
There's,
The difference.
exactly. There's so many people in this field, and we're all basically saying the same thing. It's just the wording that's coming to which one, resonates with you. Years ago when I first started, many people said to me, and this is, going right back to Tracy, when you said the whole thing, you're like, you're okay, putting your head in the toilet out of love and compassion. And I would say to somebody, okay, look at I don't want you to need me. I'm going to teach you how to do these things. And this is what's going to happen. Do you know how many people they'd say, okay, well, I'm going to call, because this used to be able to have to call me to make an appointment, right?
Right.
You come make an appointment, I'm like, no, you haven't been doing the work. You need to do the work. Do you know how many people told me to go fuck myself? Like, they were like, fuck off. You're not here to help. You're here to just, I'm like, okay, whatever. Like, I didn't take it personal because I knew that here it is, I'm doing this out of love. I'm going to help you do this. And I would say to them, like, as they're screaming and swearing at me, and I'd be like, look at you, do the work and you call me back. I'll schedule your freaking appointment. But until then, no, now you fuck off in love.
In love.
Yeah.
And sure enough, after, sometimes it took people a year, sometime a little less. And then they come back and like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I said those things to you. You're right. I did the work. You're right. I don't need an appointment. And I'm like, that's okay. You don't have to apologize to me. I don't need it. Like, I didn't take it personal. I know where you're at, but it's really like understanding and stepping back for a second and owning that and saying, okay, wait, what is this trigger about? And are they doing it out of love, or are they just doing it to push my buttons, to poke the bear, like Patty said?
Yeah. And the thing is that we know the difference, right? We definitely know the difference. And it's saying, okay, now am I receiving this? And, let me sit with this and digest this versus, okay, this doesn't resonate. But particularly if you put yourself in someone's space and then this happens, and sometimes, Renee, I know that I have found that something came in and I was like, ooh, okay. I go, okay, why did that trigger me? Like, have fun with it and go, ooh, I was just about to go off the broom handle here. And so wait, what was that? And I got the answer every time. But I became curious about it instead of, okay, so now I can go start mud wrestling right now, or I can go, okay, wait, oh, wait, there's something behind this. And just out of curiosity. And then, when minding my own business, quiet mind, boom, it comes in. And I'm like, oh, wow. Okay. And then the second you look at it and see it for what it is, it's gone. Now you're ready to receive.
Right.
Right?
Because you stepped back into love opposed to the fear.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
It's that whole point. And like Tracy said, we have everything we need inside. We know it all. It's just a matter of allowing that to open. Let yourself be open enough to hear, to receive, and to just allow. And exactly goes right back to what you said, Patty. Oh, I'm gonna have fun with it. I'm gonna look at this a different way. What did Patty do when she opened herself up? opened up into love, and now this stuff can come forward. I mean, an easy way is we know things way back when were way harder than they are now, and they keep getting easier and easier and easier. So when something like that happens, you can just say, oh, I'm going to fill this with love,
Yeah.
or I'm going to bring it into my heart. You know, some people don't want to. I said that to somebody the other day, and she said, I don't want to bring it into my heart. And I'm like, why? Why? Your heart is love.
Mhm.
And she said, because I feel like I'm bringing evil in. Okay, then just send it love. And then
Yeah.
anything that doesn't want to go into love, because sometimes we've created these things that are, no, like we used to, like I used to always see people had these struggle bodies with them. Okay, so
Oh,
well, yeah, when we would be like, I'd be working on them, I'd be pouring the love in and whatever. There was always a little piece that wanted to stay there.
yeah.
And
Got
that little,
comfortable.
yeah, but that little piece would always tell me, no, you don't understand. They invited me in, like, I am struggle. They need to struggle. They want to struggle because they need to experience X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
Like, okay, well, they've experienced it now, so now you can go. I'm like, nope, nope, that's my whole purpose. So she didn't want to go back to love, or he didn't want to go back into love, that little part. So then I said, okay, anything that doesn't want to be loved, we're going to send you into your own energy field with love.
Yeah.
So you're sending out love. Oh, okay. And then they just leave
And then they go. Yeah.
and they go. It's crazy. But it's that whole piece of really understanding and being and staying open to somebody helping you, not
Yeah.
giving them the power to say, here, you
Right.
know,
Right.
helping you to wake up what's inside of you, not continually going over and over and over and over to the same person looking for your answers because you have it inside of you. And if that triggers you for them, you know, like saying that, like, no, you can't do that. Well, that person's trying to help you wake the hell up.
Yeah.
So, you know, open up to that understanding in you. Does that make sense? Did I just go on a
T-
rant?
No, that was that absolutely resonates. That's been my experience. I mean, I couldn't have said it any better.
Yeah,
And it's and like you said, and then you open yourself up to allowing people, and again, you know, if it's especially, and if it's being done with love and compassion too. Let's start there, right?
yes, yes,
If so, if you know that, and say you've hired somebody to help you, to guide you, right? And then you're saying, oh, they triggered me, and now you're putting up the block. Yeah, now it's the answer that you want is in you. They're trying to get you to look at you and let that come forward.
right,
And the way that they're helping you is really kind of looking in the mirror and shaking, or like Tracy said, let me stick your head in the toilet here. And because the a basic delivery isn't working here. So how do I need to put this to get you to the point where you're okay, I can look at this, and this person's not trying to harm me.
right.
This is really helping me. And sometimes it isn't immediate. It's
Right. And
it can
sometimes
be.
it's not that you hired somebody, it's your friend, it's your neighbor,
Oh,
it's your,
absolutely. Yeah, it could
you
be
know,
anybody,
whatever.
that somebody
Yeah,
that you love, like you love and trust. But
exactly. And then you're going to
and
be mad at them because they're trying to help you see something that you're not seeing,
yeah.
you know, really open up to you. But, you know, I guess, you know, everybody's got something to experience. And if you didn't take that, again, like we said in one of the other episodes, they planted the seed. It'll water.
Yeah.
Trust me, it'll get watered. It'll eventually grow and expand, and you'll know.
Yeah. And the way we help each other is that if they didn't receive it, that we let it go. At that, I agree with you, Renee. Not just it's not I'm not here to be a crutch.
Right.
It's a
Absolutely.
guide. I told you to take a peek over here in this direction. And then it's your choice now whether you have free will, and do you want to, that is the direction you're supposed to be looking at, right? And oh, that right, and that's offensive, right? It's like, okay, whatever it is, you asked me where I should be looking, and that's it. And yeah, and then just let it go and say, okay, they're either receiving it or not, and then we take it and move on.
Yeah. Anything to
Right.
add there, Trace?
No, you guys are pretty thorough there. I was just thinking of it, it's kind of a similar, but like being comfortable with questioning everything, right?
Mm.
Like just keep asking the questions, just you know, personally. Like, and there's always another question or another curiosity or another perspective. Um, and then yeah, just allowing whatever situation or experience you're in to use it as a, you know, a platform to question. So,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it just, the more you start, you know, being in these conversations and really understanding the depth of what we're talking about, you can go out into the world and just spend a day of just watching people. And it's fascinating to see how people are behaving out in the world. And I mean, it really is. If you're just if that, I always say, like, pretend like you're an alien and you came down and you're like, what are they doing? What are they saying? Why would they do that? Oh my gosh, why do they think that? It's a fun experiment if you have the time to do it. It is. And it's kind of speaking to like allow others, like just keep opening the doors, opening the window, like, you know, and not necessarily from a right or wrong point. I like from a point of always being curious.
Yeah.
Yes. I
Yeah.
love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Curiosity is how we and that's how infinite intelligence comes in. It,
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
it's 100% how it comes in. And that's a teeny shift that you can make instead of using the verbiage I'm worried about or I'm concerned about. Flip that and just start saying, oh, I'm curious about this. And then allowing allow yourself the opportunity to remember,
Right. I
because
love that.
that is where the good nuggets that come in the shower, that's you remembering you have access to the intelligence. And sometimes it's that you all of a sudden have access to a person that you didn't have access to before, and then they have it, right? And just thinking that however you think it's coming in, let that go and go, oh, I have no idea how this is going to unfold. I'm going to play. I'm going to play in curiosity. And it's such a teeny like habit shift, but watching your language and instead of what replace anything that I'm worried about this. And people might say, yeah, but my current situation is it's, you have to believe the new ending before you're going to see it. So, and all you need to do, you don't need to know all the steps. Just be curious.
Yeah.
It's that playful curiosity. It's innocence. That's how, why do you think children, if you give kids like pot in a pan, right? And say, what is this? They'll create 15 things out of a frying pan in 10 seconds flat
Yep.
because their creativity, and this is, it's literally it's the same process. It's that we lost that. We picked up on environmental things and right and ancestral stuff and all this, and now we're opening back up to, and we're going back to really what we're talking about here is that childhood innocence, that innocence and curiosity of what is possible, and the answer is all of it. And then but staying open, and like if you give a kid a pot, like they're not, you don't see a 3-year-old sitting there going, oh no, they gave me a pot, I wanted an airplane. If they wanted an airplane, the pot's now an airplane,
Right.
right? And
Mhm.
then okay, how can I, what else can I make this? And that's the creating from curiosity, and that's how you're accessing these, from previously thought difficult to access. It's so much easier. And I think now, like you said, Renee, we're like so far, going forward at such a high speed that now it's just so readily available and super easy. The energy is wide open when you allow it to be.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And just because you touched on it very quickly, you said, that you have to see the ending before can you just expand on that a little? Just
Yeah.
see.
Yeah. So instead of the need to control and I need to know all the steps in advance, what is the finished product? What do I desire in finality? Like where's the plane landing? Not what's happening over every city that I'm going to travel over. Okay. So I know where I'm going to land. I don't need to know all of the steps. And then part of the journey is now I'm curious. Okay, I'm flying over Colorado. Let me look out the window and enjoy life. Oh, look, there's the Rocky Mountains. And I'm flowing. And then, okay, oh, I wonder what's next. And then somebody next to me may bring up something that's tied to my project. It's literally how synchronicities come together without resistance. And that is quite literally how we get into flow. And instead of, you know, oh no, what does the pilot have to do? It's that the allowing is allowing the energy to flow and being curious. And then we only need we get information that we need to know as we need it. That's the biggest, like I always talk about the, new operating system. The information you need comes to you when you need it, sometimes before you need it.
Mhm.
And so that's the fun part of the curiosity. Ooh, this little piece came in, because it's resonating with you in some way. You don't, like you said, Renee, we only see this teeny little piece of the puzzle, right? Oh, that's going in the big puzzle. I don't know yet. Or sometimes you don't even know it, but then something will happen. You'll go, oh, I've got this piece already. Now I understand why this came to me. And then getting used to that, take your action based, okay, now I can be curious again. What's next? And then taking that and being comfortable in that, and versus I need to know every single thing that's going on in that cockpit. No, no, forget it. You're off there. Now you are now back on the struggle bus. PS.
Yes.
Because that's the struggle bus, the need to know everything. And curiosity is really, if you really want access to this intelligence and to play with it, um, for me, it's okay. You do need to know what you want, um, and define it.
Mhm.
But the how and the when doesn't matter.
Yep. None of
And
your business
yeah,
how and when.
and the bigger piece of that is understanding where the desire came from. It came from your soul. Right? When people talk about their imagination, it's like, hello, that is you. That's remembering who you are. They're up there going, hello. You know, how many walls are we going to hit? This is what you desired. This is your choice. And this is how, we're throwing you the breadcrumbs now. And we want you're there to experience it and enjoy it, and not just, right. And this is when we talk about slowing it down, slow down and listen and follow the guidance. But be curious, and what you need will absolutely be there when you need it.
Yeah, just allow. And what to piggyback off of that, when you know that end result, or the final, here's where the plane's landing, because you'd be shocked at the people that I say, okay, well, what do you want in your life? Like, well, I don't really know. What do the healers want for me? I'm like, really? They don't want anything, but they want to just provide you what you want. But it's that point of like, when I watch the energy, whenever anybody can see where that plane's landing, and they put all of their emotions into it. You're
Yeah.
seeing, you're feeling, you're hearing, you're sensing, like everything. That is the only time I ever see every single piece of somebody work together as one. The mind, everything, because the mind is
Well,
usually the
it
one that,
just fires off altogether.
yeah. And I'm
Yeah.
telling you, that's the mind, everything gets on board, because when you're in that state, it doesn't know you don't have it. And
Yes.
it will work its ass off to get it to you.
To pull it
And
together.
yep, everything works
Yeah.
together as one. So when I say to people, okay, well, now feel it, take the time to feel that every single day when you go to bed, when you wake up, every single thing you're doing. Like, okay, you're going to work, you're driving to work, okay, take the second to feel that. You're at work, you're walking into the building, feel it. Typically, people get this close to having it and boom, they just stop doing it.
Oh,
That
they
didn't come in time. Didn't come. I
Yep.
expected it that. Like, do not, exactly what you said, Patty. It's not when. It's not
Yeah.
up to you to know how it's coming. There's so
Yeah.
many other things happening that
Yeah.
are in your system that are fighting against it, that now your systems are working and clearing out. Keep doing it, keep doing it, keep doing it. And then all of a sudden, bam, there it is.
Yeah.
It's wild to me, but it's really allowing, exactly what you said, allowing other things to come to you. When somebody says something to you, or somebody does something, like, honor that. Like, don't, nope, that's not in my path. You don't know if it's your path, because
Yeah.
when we're seeing where that plane's landing, we can figure it out. Okay, well, this is, the whole history channel in my head. This is how it must work. We don't, we are so
That's
limited.
that that's what I call it, the Jack in the Box. It's like you're in the box and someone's torn on that and the damn song's playing and you're not. And then when you open up, it's like, okay, you're out of that freaking, and
Yes.
then you find out that the box wasn't real.
Yes,
So that's the bigger part of it, right? The
exactly.
the box wasn't real. And I'll tell you one of the tricks that I use, because I know for me, it was hard at first when I would say, like, even I couldn't even answer initially, what do you want? I remember I had a real estate coach that he was trying to pick my brain a little and he said, what do you want? And when I said, and he said, oh, that's small. And I was like, what a jerk. He just called me small. I was like, who does he think he is? Right. I was like, "Rah, rah, rah." And then, but now I understanding that without that limiting thinking, it's, oh no, you really can. And then it's like feed into your desire. Okay, what's tied to my passions then? And what's a fun? And so instead, sometimes they say, okay, get into the feeling of it being done. And you hear this all the time, right? Well, okay, but it's never happened. So how am I going to get into the feeling?
Yep.
And so it's like, well, what are you anticipating? What's the desired feeling? And instead of going into expectation, I create it as a memory that it happened already.
Oh, I love that. I love that.
And the brain seems like the nervous system likes that better, the expectation, because again, we talked about the unknown, that the discomfort that can come with it. But when you go, oh, that's a memory, and you keep recreating that memory, and you're that's what you were talking about, you're aligned with the energy of the finished product, and then it's true, everything just can't help, it's like that's when you create miracles in the moment, quite literally. You have the
Absolutely.
ability, when you it's that the focus and the attention and the belief, and but ultimately, right, it's always a state of being. What
Yeah.
state of being, they get, if you get too far into it and start analyzing how you're going to feel,
Oh,
it's like, no, what state of being do you want? Like, how are you going to feel? Why are you going to New York? What do you love, right? I can smell the pizza, right? I want to get in a smelly cab, right? All right. And create that experience. I could get myself fired up and manifest a trip to New York in a second, right?
mhm.
But and that's how you do it. Oh, I'm there, right? Same thing like Tracy when you were talking about in one of our earlier episodes about a facial. All of a sudden I was like, woo, that, like, we were able to feel into that. And when we practice that skill as creators,
Mm.
you know, that's the magic. That's the fun part of what we're doing.
What are your thoughts, Trace, as you've been quiet?
I know. I'm just listening. I would just add that I know for me and how people bring this into their what they are is I know I have so much conviction when I lock into something. I'm tenacious. Like you, everyone in the room can tell me that I'm wrong and talk me out of it, and I just bringing forward. And that's a personal inside job. I can't really speak to how, everyone individually can find their conviction, but I would encourage everyone to, because for me, it's a great tool to really know what I know and want what I want and not waver from it. And even if I'm really kind of speaking into the when and the destination and the how of kind of laying that aside. Well, I don't know when and I don't know how. And I know it's not my reality right now. And shit, I woke up again and it's not my reality again today, but I'm not giving up. Like
Well,
and I
you
know that's a quality I possess. I am tenacious as hell. Like I will stand in my conviction and everyone's saying that girl is out of her mind. And I'll be like, I don't care. I'm
thank
standing
you.
in my conviction. Yeah. Okay.
Thank you. Yeah. And but you have a focus, like you have the ability you have that it's a focus and a knowing. And and but we all have this ability. And again, it's just like start playing with it. And like Tracy, I feel like you innately have it, right?
Yeah.
So for me, I had to practice it. I had to practice it because I was in a habit of thinking in a different way and acting a different way and
Mhm.
and planning. I was a, planner, doer, and multitasker. Oh my gosh, I had to like completely disconnect from that word. Like in the music business, I used to sleep with a cell phone on my pillow. How whacked is that? Now I'd be like, if somebody tried to put anything on my pillow, I'd be like, get that shit out of here. This is my time, right? But it's interesting, and just really anything that was connected to that behavior that was not serving me, I had, let go of it. And I'll tell you, it's a lot more fun to be focused and curious, and then give yourself permission to play too. Right? Like, we don't have to be so serious. Oh, I have a goal. Like, gosh, like we were taught, oh, you have a goal, you have a goal, you have to do it, right? And it's like you need to check it off the list. And it's like, no, float the sucker out there. Be curious about what's okay, what do I get to do next? And it feels weird initially until stuff starts shifting. Then you go, okay, this is how we play now. It's
Yeah.
a good thing, right?
And I think recognizing the little things, like we
Mhm.
usually look for that end result now. It's the little baby steps that we have to recognize. And I think that's where that piece of reviewing your day and seeing what went a little different or what came in or what, didn't. And Tracy, you mentioned this in one of the other episodes where you don't want that dollar. You're looking for, something like food or whatever it is. And all of a sudden somebody's handing it to you. Do you know how many people don't see that as
They
that? Well,
won't
no,
s
I wanted, yeah, I wanted
it's
money. I wanted money. But now you don't have to spend money to buy it. Do you understand?
yeah,
So
yeah,
recognizing all the little things, starting to really shift your awareness. And like you said, playing
yeah,
with that. I'm going to play and just see all the little things today. I'm
yeah,
going to ask to just be more aware of where
yeah,
I can make some changes. And all of a sudden you're aware of maybe what, we would refer to as a negative thought. Or these patterns, these programs, recognizing them and saying, okay, I'm just going to try to shift this. And then all of a sudden you're starting to notice, hey, I didn't respond to that person because I've been staying in that energy and in that connection, that conviction of like, no, I'm going to keep doing this and not giving up until it's there. And that
yeah,
I know is a lot easier said than done, but we all
yeah,
have that ability. And the more and more we do that, the easier and easier things become. And then all of a sudden you're getting it quick.
yeah, and stay in your tribe too.
Well, and
That
Yes.
there's
celebrate.
Yes.
absolutely,
I celebrate all the time, and then
yeah,
I'm always like, Did anyone just see what's happening? Like, why aren't we doing happy dances together?" And I'm like, "Okay, just me," you
Yeah.
know?
oh,
Yeah.
yeah,
You're so
yeah.
right. Celebration is such a big
So,
piece.
uh,
You're giving all that approval and all that acceptance and love.
yeah, and and like you said, I love the awareness that you brought into this too, Renee and Tracy, in that if you say, for example, I want money because I want to go out to a really nice meal, and then a friend invites you to like a formal banquet, and then you discount that. You just had the gourmet meal that you wanted the money for, and it didn't cost you anything.
Yes.
That's abundance. That is right. And start to, like you said, look back and go. And sometimes it's like, oh, I didn't know, right? Oh, I didn't even see that.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And don't say it didn't count, because this is the thing. We don't need to know the when. And that's the beauty of how, when you create it, then you get to be curious and go, okay, so I set that intention. I know I want it. It's like Tracy, it's like no matter what, I know I want it. The desire is just radiating everything that you need for that to come to you as quickly as possible. And like this is a whole other focus, focus and intentions of fun, right? And how to positively focus on something versus struggle bus.
And
Absolutely.
just to, and we all know this, but it's worth saying, focus on the feeling,
Yeah.
not the exact thing. Don't define the thing. For
Yep.
me, right, define the feeling of it, the essence of it, not the specifics. Well, I want this house and this place with this, like, no, I want to feel this way. This is how I want to live. That's, I think
And you
that's a game.
eliminate
Yeah,
Yeah.
you eliminate multitudes of possibilities, or at the very least, you say this or something better than,
Yeah.
exactly. Or the better.
right?
Yeah.
Leave it open, absolutely, because that's the whole thing. You want the surprise, that innocent surprise of, okay, wow, I can't wait.
And
Well,
and our mind can only think of this.
yeah,
Well,
let's,
we're worthy of this. So when you're
Yeah.
saying this is something better, now you've opened it up. So now the better can come in. And people do a lot of time money. Well, I only want X amount of dollars. I just on a job that pays me this much. I'm like, oh my God, don't you dare limit that. And if
Yeah.
you want to put that dollar amount, say, and more.
right. Or a minimum. This is my minimum
Yeah.
requirements,
Yeah.
right? Yeah. Just leave everything open ended and
Yes.
right.
Yes.
But be firm on your desire and,
Mhm.
and stay with it. Have
Absolutely.
Be curious. Wow, what a great topic we can go so many different directions from here. I can feel it. But it is time for us to bid farewell to each other. So if you like what you hear, please hit the subscribe button. Let us know in the comments what you're thinking. We do want to hear from you. And ladies, thank you for this time. It was a great episode.
All right.